Sunday, December 10th, 2023, MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, I'm Adam Martin. That's Big Marcel 24. We're going to preview UFC 296, Edwards Covington. Marcel, the last UFC card of the year. Man, I'm kind of sad now that I think about it. Like, it's coming to the end of the year. Like, I am looking forward to getting a break, for the winter and stuff. But, like, man, I'm looking forward to this card. And then, it's going to be, like, about a month, right, between cards. That's the next one's Johnny Walker and Kelleher. So, soak it in, boys. We're not going to have a card for a few weeks. But, thankfully, Marcel, I think they're going out with a bang. I think this is an awesome card. So, what's up, brother? What do you think of the card, man?
All good, man. Honestly, I'm fucking tired, so I'm kind of happy that we got some break here. Listen,
Yeah?
man, I'm always fun. Yeah, I'm always fun watching fights, but I mean, it's also a lot of work during events, So I'm happy to have some Saturdays off. You know what I mean? And have some festivities with how do you say that, Christmas and how does a New Year? It's always fun. So yeah, I mean, that's good. Yeah, doing well. Still doing well, man. We talked an hour ago already, so you asked me the same question. I'm still doing well.
Wasn't even now, it's like 45 minutes ago.
yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to the fights, man, to talking with you. And we have to figure out what we're going to do next week. Do we do one show, the recap maybe, and maybe a Q&A after that, and maybe I don't know what we're going to do after it, maybe some non-shows. I don't know. We'll talk about it because one is at Christmas, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably what we'll do. I'm actually going on vacation this week, boys. I'm going to Cuba, so this is gonna be awesome. Leaving Wednesday.
You're gonna smoke some cigars, this dude.
Cigars. They don't have weed there. I think you'd probably get arrested if you smoke weed, so I can't do that. But probably have a cigar or two. Gonna chill out. I'll drink a little bit, but not too much. I just want to go swimming. I want to get some sun. I want to, as dumb as it sounds, I like sleeping a lot on vacations too, man. I like just relaxing, right? I basically saved up. Go ahead.
He's going to the beach. You just want to watch some booty. That's all.
Well, let's be honest. That's kind of what it is. No, but I saved up my vacation time, basically until now. So I'm going to use it all now. So I'm off work starting, like I said, Wednesday. I'm off for 3 weeks in a row. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be some good time to sit around and yeah.
How long you going?
I'm just gone for a week, but then I have Christmas holidays, vacation time, the holiday time, the weekend. So I have almost 3 weeks in a row off. Yeah, so I basically worked every week all year, for bookies, which is great. But I think I need some time off, man. So yeah. I think I used a week already, so I'm using my 2 more weeks, and then I have extra time with the holidays and stuff. So, anyways, enough about that. But yeah, we'll figure that out. Probably Sunday or Monday, we'll probably do that. I was right arm's going to be massive by the end of the day. I mean, it's going to match up with Marcel's right arm, all the, But let's get some other comments. George, Mr. Richards, Gary's live-in ex-husband's fight week. Oh, my God. George, my God, you guy. And Tom, this card's amazing. That's what I was going to ask you, Marcel. I always ask you this, but, what do you think out of, 10? What do you think of this card? Because, on paper, it looks like it could be a 10. What do you think?
It's a really fun card, but there are a lot of fights I'm really invested in, to be really honest. But
really?
Yeah, there are a lot of fun fights on the card. I think it's a really good card. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I would definitely give it an 8.5 or something,
Sure.
But for me personally, there are not really a lot of fights I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, for me, there are. There's at least 5 fights that I'm really excited about. So I think the card could be a 10. It could also be a disappointment. You never fucking know. As Dana White says, we always wait till the fights play out, boys. All right. I say let's get into it, Marcel. We'll start with the first fight of the night here. We're using the UFC stats outline here for the fight order. Okay, so the first fight of the night is Randy Brown taking on Salikhov at welterweight. And a fight like this being the first fight in the card, because I think this is a fight that would be on almost any fight night main card is the third fight. So for me, this is a really good opening card fight. Randy Brown minus 258, Salikhov plus 210. Go ahead, Marcel, give me your pick.
Yeah, man, Randy Brown. I always thought he was a very talented guy. He's already in 33 now, I think. I always think my Randy Brown is much younger for some reason. He won his last fight against Wellington Turman. Wasn't a great one. Was in Jacksonville, I think, earlier this year. Before that, he got that loss to Jack Della Maddalena. He had a nice streak before that. I feel like every time when he really gets a step up in competition, he doesn't do really well, But Salikhov, in my opinion, is not really that step up in competition, I think Salikhov is dangerous on the feet, but I feel like Randy is more all-round. Salikhov lost 2 of his last 3 fights, only one against Fialho, and we saw Fialho is very hittable. I'm taking Randy Brown here, man. I likely picking him by decision here, but I'm feeling more comfortable picking Randy Brown than Muslim Salikhov in this one because I think Brown has more ways to win.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm picking him too. The odds are getting a little bit high though. I mean, when I looked at it the other day, it was like I think it's minus 175, minus 180. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's kind of what I was looking at, and it was like almost minus 200, I should say. But yeah, minus 258. A lot of money coming in on Rude Boy. I think he wins though. I mean, I just feel like like you said, the more well-rounded fighter. Much taller guy, 4 inches, 8 inches of reach. 6 years younger, better ground game, right? Muslim Salikhov, a really good striker. Randy Brown's been knocked out before. It's possible he could get knocked out. I don't think so though. Randy's been a guy that's been pretty underrated, I think, throughout his career personally. So I think he gets the job done. I just don't. I don't love the odds. I just think it's a little high. I don't know. It might get to like 3-1. That's a little bit high in my opinion. So I'll take Randy. You said decision. Is that what you were saying? Decision?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I have the same pick. So, and I'm with True. I think it's a little high. Yeah, this is like the third fight in on a fight night. So I think it's a pretty good fight to open up this pay-per-view card with. All right, boys, we'll go to the next fight here. We got the big boys, and again, Marcel. This on the fight night, this would have been the main event probably because they love it. Martin Buday taking on Shamil Gaziev. Odds for this one: Buday minus 175, Gaziev plus 145. I'll let you start again. Go ahead.
No, you go first on this one. I went first with the first one.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go with Martin Buday. I'm leaning towards Buday. I don't know about you, but I really wasn't that impressed with Gaziev's debut against Greg Velasco. I didn't think he looked great. I know he got the win, but it was like fucking weird fight, man. Like,
weird fight, that was.
Yeah, it was super weird. I just wasn't that impressed by it. And then Buday, he's been on a roll. 4 straight wins in the UFC, finishing guys. Like in the last fight with Parisian, had his best performance to date, gets the finish there. He is in some pretty close fights, and this one could be if it just stays like as a kickboxing fight. But I don't know, man. I think Buday can mix it up a little bit, push the guy against the fence, grind it out. Again, like I don't love the odds here at minus 175 and what should be like a pretty competitive fight, but my lean is definitely Buday. All the experience in the UFC, I think, will pay dividends here. It is kind of an interesting fight, though. They're very similar, right? Like both 6'4", both basically have the same reach, both are basically the same age, so very similar two fighters, I would say. But Buday, I think, with all the experience, I think he gets the job done. So Buday decision. That's my pick. What do you think, man?
I kind of feel the same way, man. You saw a Gaziev fighting Velasco in the Contender Series, and he started well, but then he gave his bag away out of nowhere. Remember, and he went out of it, but and finished Velasco. But I don't think it was a great performance, to be really honest. Although he got him finished, Buday, like you said, on a nice streak. Still not super convinced with the guy, to be really honest, but more convinced picking him than Gaziev. I think if Gaziev wins, it's in the early rounds of the fight. But I think Buday takes him in deep waters and wins the decision here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sorry, one second. Zach just messaged me on Discord. Here you go. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. I think this fight's pretty good too. Lucas Almeida taking on Andre Fili. Again, like there's some like sneaky good fights in this card. This fight, Andre Fili minus 185, Lucas Almeida plus 154. I'll let you start on this one.
Man, listen, man, I love Lucas Almeida, but he looked so bad last fight against Pat Sabatini. Mm-hmm. Really bad. He got completely dominated by Sabatini, and he got finished, man, in the second round. Before that, got that great win against Trezano, fight of the night performance. Lost on Contender Series against Zellhuber in one of the better fights of that year. Fili makes it competitive with a lot of guys, you know what I mean? He got knocked out by Joe Anderson Brito, I know that. But for example, the Bill Aljo fight, he got a split decision, I think should have been unanimous. And then Nathaniel Wood, he can make an argument he won that fight, in my opinion. It was close. I think a lot of people give it to Wood, but he can make an argument he won that fight. So that said, I think his ground game is probably a little bit better than Lucas Almeida's. I think Almeida might have an advantage in the stand-up, but I cannot pick Almeida, man, after that last fight against Sabatini. He looks so bad. I think Fili can do that as well to him. So I'm picking Andre Fili. I'm picking Fili by decision here.
Fair enough. I don't know about this one. This one is I don't know, just because like I don't think Fili's like not great anymore. I kind of feel like he's on a decline. I mean, he did beat Bill Algeo though, which was a nice win not too long ago. And guys he lost to like Wood, Brito, these guys are Brito, Mitchell. These guys are good, right? He does get the occasional win. I don't know though, man. I still feel like I'm kind of high on Almeida despite the loss to 17, which was really bad, like you said. I still think that the guy's dangerous. And I thought he looked really good in Contender. I thought he looked good in the Trezano fight. It's just the 17 fight just makes me like uneasy about him. At the same time, though, man, like I kind of feel like I gotta fade Fili here. So yeah, tough one, but I'm kind of leaning the other guy. I'm kind of leaning Almeida. I think he might be able to knock out Fili. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Just not a super confident pick because again, he looked so bad in that last fight. It just I was pretty high on him heading into that, man. You know, I thought the guy was, pretty good. By the way, they were supposed to fight actually earlier this year. The fight got rebooked now, so that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll take the dog. Lucas Almeida by knockout. There you go. There's a dog pick by me. Woof. Not consensus though. You don't have not a consensus. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. Tagir Ulanbekov against Cody Durden. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one because I have a strong lean in this fight. And the odds of this one are Tagir is minus 166, Cody Durden plus 140. Well, I'll let you start then. Go ahead.
So Tagir had a good win in his last fight, right, against Nate Maness. But man, if you look at his other fights so far in the UFC, I think it was far from convincing, man, to be really honest. The Bruno Silva fight, he got the unanimous decision, wasn't really convincing. The Nascimento fight, he could have lost that one, split decision. Tim Elliott fight, he kind of got fucked, by Tim Elliott grabbing the cage a lot of times, and he lost the decision. Cody Durden, listen, man, Cody Durden, besides his second UFC fight and his fight against Mokaev, where he got finished in both fights, he has looked good in the UFC, man. I think he's super tough. I think he's a good wrestler. I think Durden can win against Ulanbekov, man. I honestly favor the underdog here. I would take Durden by decision in this one.
Woof woof. We got a consensus dog, baby. Let's go. I really like Cody Durden in this fight, man. I really do. At plus 140, he'll probably be one of my best bets in my article this week, just because I think he should be favored. I definitely think he should be favored. Like Tagir, I haven't been impressed with him, Marcel. I really haven't. The last fight, okay, I guess the Maness fight was nice, but the other fights, not really. The Elliott fight, no. The Nascimento fight, not really. Even the Bruno Silva fight, not really. And then Durden matches up well with him, right? With the wrestling, Durden's looked good lately. 4 straight wins, 5-2, 5-3 in the 5-2-1 draw in the UFC. I think he's looked really good. Again, I think his wrestling matches up really fucking well. The guy averages over 5 takedowns a fight. I mean, it's really impressive. Tagir's takedown defense is only 60%. Like when he's on the offensive, sure, he can take you down, but on the defensive, man, he could be taken down, controlled, and I think Cody will take him down and control him in this fight. I don't know if he finishes him or anything, but I think he could definitely grind him out. I like Durden here a lot, Marcel. Woof woof, plus 140. I think the odds should be flipped. He should be favored. He should be the favorite in this fight. So give me Cody Durden here, boys. I'm taking him by decision. You think decision too?
Yeah, man. I think, listen, man, Cody has that, how do you say that? That nastiness in him. That nastiness in him that he can, and he has an iron will, you know what I mean? And that's something, and you see that with a lot of wrestlers all the time, they have that, and Cody really has that. Yeah, I'm picking him too. I think it should have been more of a pick him, to be honest, a pick him or Durden being a favorite here, But hey, I mean, if you can get Durden at plus money, you should definitely do it, I think,
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Durden in this one, man. I think he gets the job done. So we have a consensus talk here, guys. There we go. A couple comments. Fahim, what's up, brother? You just missed the recap, but yeah, I think Smith, should retire and just take a desk job, but he'll probably fight again. Fili Almeida's a great fight, Antoine. Cody, I think Cody gets the job done here, man. Oh yeah, he's an Atlanta guy, right? American top team Atlanta with Diego, the other Diego Lima, the
Lima brothers.
Yeah, the Lima brothers.
Yeah, I was joking. Do you know Georgie, the Georgian guy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was joking with him. I was like, dude, there's an amazing gym in Georgia. I'm telling. He's like, yeah, what gym do you mean? I was like, it's with the Diego Lima brothers. They have a gym in Georgia, man. He's like, I don't know where. I said in Atlanta, Georgia. He's like, you motherfucker.
That's too funny. All right, let's go to the next fight here. This is the headliner of the prelims. So there's 5 Fight Pass prelims, so a lot of fights on this card. I think there's 14 fights.
Yeah,
Alonzo Menifield taking on Dustin Jacoby. I really like this fight. I think this is a great fight. Odds for this one, Jacoby minus 245, big favorite here, plus 200, Alonzo Menifield. I'll start on this one. I'm taking Menifield, Atomic Alonzo Menifield, man, for the upside. I'm taking him, Marcel. I think he can win this fight. Dude, I just think he's an underrated guy. He had that great win in his last fight over Jim Crute. I thought he looked good in that other one. Had he won that fight, he'd have 4 straight wins. Regardless, he's on an unbeaten streak of 4 fights. He's 5-1-1 in his last 7. I think he's really turned the corner in his career. He's a big, strong dude. He has a lot of power. I understand Jacoby's the more technical striker. He's got power too. I understand that. I mean, he's an absolute beast. It's just that I think Menifield can mix it up. And, Jacoby, 60% takedown defense is not very good. Menifield can take you down. He can grind you on the ground a little bit too. Obviously, the cardio is always a concern with Alonzo. He's got a lot of muscle, but, Jacoby, again, like great fighter, great striker, but I feel like he can be taken down here. I think he can be grinding against the fence. I think Alonzo could hurt him too. There's just, for me, a plus 200. I think you have to take a shot on Alonzo Menifield here. I think he has a great chance to win the fight. So to me, this is a fight that's like more of like a coin flip type fight. I'm taking Menifield. Maybe I'm completely off on this one, guys, but I'm taking another dog. I took 3 dogs on these prelims. I didn't take any dogs last week, and now I got 3 already this week. Alonzo Menifield's the guy that stood up to me right away. I'm high on him. He's my guy. I'm taking him to win, Marcel. What do you think?
Yeah, plus 200 is a little bit much. I think should be closer. I feel more comfortable picking Jacoby, man. I think he keeps a distance. I think it keeps on. They keep it on the feet. I think he wins a decision. That's how I think about it.
Yep.
I think it's a close fight. Don't get me wrong. Can go out or can go either way. I'm not really like super confident in my pick here, but if I have to pick one of the two, I'm picking Jacoby by keeping his distance, picking his shots, and winning a decision.
There you go. All right, couple comments about this one. Pato likes Cody. Reg likes Menifield like me. Somehow Pat Barry's Rude Menifield. That's funny. Yeah, I know he's been in his corner the last few fights where he's won. So, all right, we'll go to the prelim fights here. Marcel, like the televised prelims. Casey O'Neill taking on Ariane Lipski. Odds for this one: Casey O'Neill favored minus 198 plus 164. Lipski. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, man. To be really honest, man, Casey O'Neill. I think she's talented. Don't get me wrong. I also think she's still very young, right? She's 26. I'm not really convinced so far, man. If she is really like the top girl everybody says she is,
Mm-hmm.
She got that split decision over Modafferi. Should have been unanimous, to be really honest.
Mm-hmm.
The Shevchenko, Antonina. I mean, Antonina isn't that great, And the Jennifer Maia fight wasn't good, She came back from injury, I know that, but it wasn't good. If you look at Ariane Lipski, to be really honest, I've been fading Ariane Lipski for a long time, because I really felt like after she came to KSW, she never really fulfilled that hype. She looked good, man, against JJ Aldrich. That was a fight I was sure Aldrich was going to win, and she did well in that fight. And she also did well against Melissa Gatto. I know both girls are also not top 15, but both are tough girls, I think it's a much closer fight than people think. I think a lot of people will go with O'Neill. I'm going with Lipski here. I think Lipski wins the decision.
Woof, woof. I mean, another dog here. It's crazy, right, guys? Like, everyone's like, oh, you didn't pick any dogs, but now I got 4 already. It's crazy. So, like, I would say at least 2 of these 4 dogs I picked to win. So, round robin them. Lipski for me too, and the reason why is because like same with Menifield, I just think she's turned a corner in her career. Like she's looked really good lately. 3 of her last 4 fights have been wins. She did get knocked out brutally by Kelleher in that one fight, which is a concern, obviously. But I don't feel like O'Neill's like a power puncher necessarily. I know she not finished Antonina, but it wasn't like on the feet, right? It was ground strikes. Regardless, I mean, I definitely think it's a competitive fight. I think it's probably going to go to 3 rounds. I just feel like Lipski can do a little bit more damage. I think she's turned the corner, man. She's training at ATT now, right? I think that's a great spot for her. She's looked good lately. Really, always been a good striker, right? Always been a good striker. The durability is a concern, but again, I don't feel like she's finding someone that's like necessarily like an amazing, knockout artist or whatever. Even though I know O'Neill has a couple finishes, I don't know. I'm not sold on Casey right now. I don't know. Like, I think she's very hittable, and I know Lipski, her stats actually, I'm looking at them right now. Like she gets hit a little bit more than she lands out, but this is other shit today, but lately I think she's done better. So yeah, probably again, these women's fights, man, they typically go the distance. I think this one does too, but I think Lipski's gonna edge it out. It could be like a split, but I think she gets the job done. So Lipski decision, consensus dog. We have 2 consensus dog or so. It's a 2.
Yeah.
Durden and Lipski. There you go. So we got 2 guys. Crazy. All right, hit the big button, Marcel. Woof woof. I know you got to get that ready, Marcel. From
I don't have it ready, man. Unfortunately,
the win decision doesn't work out. Fair enough, but like I actually think these fighters kind of should be like this fight. I think I can understand why O'Neal's favored. It's just when I looked at this fight originally, I'm like Lipski, and the fact that you like her too makes me feel a little better about it. But yeah, all right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got the bantamweights, Cody Garbrandt taking on Brian Kelleher. Boom. Odds for this one, Garbrandt minus 205, Kelleher plus 170. I'll let you start on this one too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to really hear your take on this one before I give mine.
I'm leaning Cody Garbrandt to win the fight. Boom's definitely got some power, and he could finish Garbrandt because Garbrandt's chin is just really scary to me. Like he's not a guy I would bet on. I wouldn't bet on Cody Garbrandt this fight. Like I wouldn't lay minus 200 on him because the chin is just so scary to bet on. But I think he's the better fighter overall, man. I still think he's like the more well-rounded guy. He's got more high-level experience. He's a former champion. Still a pretty good wrestler. I think we saw that in the Trevin Jones fight, right? Kind of like he just grinded it out. He did what he had to do. It wasn't impressive, but he did what he had to do. He's going to fight safe, I think, in this fight because Boom does have power, right? That's the thing. So, but again, Kelleher, I don't know, man. Like he's been taken down. He's been submitted his last couple of fights. I think Cody can take him down, get him to the ground. I think he's going to fight safe. If you take Kelleher, take him by knockout because that's the way Cody loses his fight. So it's either I think Cody by decision or sub, maybe a sub potentially, or Kelleher by knockout. But I'm leaning towards Cody. I think he gets him to the ground, grinds it out. Don't think it's that exciting of a fight. People were so hyped when that Joe Reeves guy like booked the fight, that new matchmaker, and I'm just like, like I don't think it's that great of a fight, personally. I think it's just an okay fight. They are 2 veterans. Like it makes sense. It doesn't get me that excited. He was supposed to fight Mario Batista, I think, before Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping they were going to rebook that fight, to be honest. But regardless, I'm taking him to win this one. Go ahead.
You know why people were excited? Because there are still, obviously, no problem with that. There are a lot of Cody Garbrandt fans out of there, you know, and they think they can win this fight, and I think so too. I mean, not saying that Kelleher doesn't have a chance here. I think he has a good chance to win as well. But at the same time, I would favor Cody as well. I think Cody has more ways to win probably, and I think it will go down to a decision. I don't think we will see a finish here. But yeah, I'm thinking Cody, man. I think Cody finally gets a win again. And listen, if he gets a win, I'm happy for him. I think he needs it. And although he won against Trevin Jones last time, but still, I mean, this is a bigger win if he wins this one. I think. I'm thinking Cody here as well. But I'm not convinced. I wouldn't put any money on it. You know what I mean?
I do think it's interesting, though. I didn't realize that Cody's never submitted anyone before. So, Kelleher's got 8 submission losses. Like, I think that's the easiest way to beat him, right? To take him down and choke him out. But, even though Cody's never done it before, maybe this is the fight to do it. But either way, I'm going to lean towards him to get the job done. I just don't really trust Kelleher. And Kelleher's, he's getting up there in age too. I mean, it's not like Cody's spring chicken at 32, but Kelleher's, 37? So he's not a young guy for this division. This weight class kind of favors the younger guys usually. So that's my pick. Couple comments here. Kelleher, he could. I mean, it's possible. I think it'd be like a club and sub. What division is the new matchmaker in charge of? I don't know. I mean, we haven't heard anything about this guy. He just booked one fight. Was Dana lying? Like, I don't know anything about this guy at all. He doesn't go to the fights, I don't think. I don't know. What are you gonna say?
Also, no idea, man. I have no idea. Maybe this one and done. I have no idea.
Sweepstakes, Joe. I just don't think this is that great of a fight, but whatever. Kelleher coming off an injury that caused him to drop out his last fight. I mean, that's not a great thing. I know, but then again, didn't Cody get injured too? His last fight got canceled right against Mario. Wasn't he injured too? So I guess both guys coming off some sort of injury. 100 gambler fight. Yeah, I mean, people will take a shot on Kelleher because they're going to fade Cody, and I understand that because I usually fade him too. It's just I'm not that high on Brian Kelleher personally. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got Irene Aldana taking on Karol Rosa. Odds for this one, Irene Aldana minus 198, Karol Rosa plus 164. Your thoughts, Marcel?
I don't see really why they have to book this fight, to be really honest. I mean, Irene Aldana, she comes off that Amanda Nunes loss, right? Wasn't really a great fight for her. She got dominated there. Then you look at Karol Rosa. She won against a split decision against Yana Santos, which was really controversial in my opinion. Yeah, what I heard between the how do you say that behind the scenes is that Aldana asked for Misha Tate and that Misha Tate turned it down. So that's pretty much what's happened. And Misha got to fight. Who did she fight last week again? Julia Avila, and she got Rosa because I think the UFC tried to book Avila Rosa for the 600 time at first, and they wanted to have Tate against Aldana, but that didn't happen. So Aldana had to agree with Rosa. I remember Rosa, how do you say that, announcing the fight already, but Aldana didn't sign yet because she really didn't want to fight actually against Rosa, and not because she's scared or whatever, but she thinks she deserves better, and I think so too. Aldana wins the fight probably by decision, but it's not a fight I'm looking forward to be really honest.
No way. This one?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it could be decent because they're both like striking-based fighters, so I think it could be maybe a little more exciting than you're saying.
Let's hope.
We'll hope. We'll hope. Obviously, I'm leading Aldana, right? Because like I've always been more high on her, but like man, she took a lot of damage on this fight with Amanda Nunes, like a lot of damage, and didn't look great. And even the fight before that against Macy Chasson, like I bet on her in that fight, man, and she was losing that fight until she kicked her in the liver with like what, a minute left or something. So
yeah.
Karol Rosa is a pretty good volume striker. She can make it kind of ugly. Can make the fight boring. Has like no knockout power at all. Marcel, no finishes in the UFC. 6-2 with all the wins going to decision. I think since she stepped up in competition, hasn't looked as impressive either. Like going, these split majority decisions, it's not as impressive, even losing. So I kind of feel like her ceiling's a little capped. She's like borderline top 10, top 15 type, whereas Aldana is a top 10 fighter, and she does have power too. More likely to get the finish is Aldana here, I think. I think she's the better fighter, but again, that last fight bothers me because of the amount of damage she took. She just didn't look very good. Same time, guys, I've always been decently high on Irene Aldana. I think she does get the job done here. I'll take her by decision. That's my lead. You said the same thing, right? Decision?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, a couple comments. Yeah, Rosa could win if she has more volume, which she does have quite a bit of volume. Chris, what's up, brother? Win being grapple heavy. I mean that's another thing. Irene Aldana's takedown defense, 75%, not that bad, I guess, but the last fight was concerning, right? The last two fights, she's been taken down 9 times total, which is not great. And then against Holly Holm, that fight, that's 14 times getting taken down the last 4 fights. That's not great, and I think that's a good point. But what's Karol Rosa? She averages like 1.5 a fight. It's possible. I just think it's going to be more of a striking-based fight, close decision. I don't know if you want to get involved in this one. The judges are going to be involved for sure, I would say. That's what I think happens here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, guys, go to the last prelim here. We have a really good fight here in the UFC featherweight division with Josh Emmett taking on short notice replacement Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell minus 192, Josh Emmett plus 160. I want to hear your thoughts on this one too, because this is an interesting fight. Obviously, very short notice added here. What do you think, brother?
I want to ask you something, and also the people who are watching. Do you guys know what the nickname from Josh Emmett, CC0, means?
I have no idea. And I looked it up like maybe last year, and I didn't really see anything about it, so I don't really know what it means. Like I'd be curious.
Same.
Do you know? Or you don't know?
No, I was wondering. So if somebody knows, let me know. I'm pretty convinced actually in this fight. I'm picking Bryce Mitchell. I mean, listen, Josh Emmett, very good fighter. But he's getting older, Bryce Mitchell is getting better, I think, I was impressed by Bryce Mitchell against Dan Ige, how he fought. Before that, he lost to Topuria. Listen, man, this is only loss in his professional career is against Topuria. I mean, that's not bad. I know the UFC also added that Katona loss, but, I mean, that was the semifinal of the Ultimate Fighter. But, I think Emmett... Let's be really honest, man. When is the last time you were like Josh Emmett looking amazing? That's probably also against Dan Ige, in 2021. After that split decision over Calvin Kattar, I didn't think he won that fight. So, I I'm picking Bryce Mitchell here. I think he also might finish the fight, dude. I wouldn't be surprised.
Despite the short notice, you have to take Bryce Mitchell. You have to, because you have to take Josh Emmett, right? You have to, because the last 2 fights were just taking a lot of damage. The last fight, my God, against Tapuri. Like, that's the kind of fight that ages you 10 years, I think. And he's already a guy that's 38 years old. So he's getting way up there in age. He's one of the oldest guys in this division. Don't get me wrong, I really like Josh Emmett still. I mean, the guy can crack, dude. He can punch.
Oh, for sure.
One of the hardest punchers probably ever in this weight class. But again, I think the amount of damage. He's a tough dude, though. My God, the last fight, man, like, most guys would have given up, So the fact he went the distance, got that bonus, that's commendable. But I thought he would take like a year off after that fight. He's coming back 6 months later. I mean, it is a decent amount of time off, but I don't think enough. And like you said, some of the other performances, some of those decisions were close, right? I can't take him. And then Mitchell, amazing grappler, much better grappler. Where's Emmett's takedown defense? 46%. It's just not good enough. Bryce Mitchell averages over 3.5 takedowns a fight. Bryce Mitchell has a little bit of power. He dropped Edson Barboza in that fight. I kind of feel like it's going to look like the Barboza fight, actually, Marcel. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He takes him down. He might hurt him a little, surprisingly, hurt him on the feet. And that might surprise people. It won't surprise me, though, because I think Emmett's durability is a little concerning at this point. But Bryce just takes him down, grinds him out. Josh, super tough. I don't think he's ever been submitted. I can double-check that, but he's a guy that's obviously, a good wrestler on paper, but he doesn't play out his fights. He's just a striker. He's been subbed once. If anyone's going to sub him again, it was against Yair Rodriguez. I don't know why I forgot that for a second. That was earlier this year, too. That's the thing. Like, I think Bryce can sub him, too. I think it's possible. I'm kind of leaning a decision, though. I'm kind of leaning Bryce by decision, but I think a sub's possible. Decision, you said, or sub? What did you say?
I said either sub or decision, so yeah. I can't go both.
Oh, okay, well, you have a double chance there. Yeah, no, I think Bryce wins the fight. I think so. A couple comments here. Bryce wins, he can take that. I agree. I think that's what happens. Creative comment 0. I guess that's what it means. It's kind of a weird nickname.
Yeah.
Alan heard this is Emmett's retirement fight. I that's what I thought the plan was too, but I know the fight switched, right? He was supposed to fight Giga Chikadze. I mean, I like Giga in that fight too. I think Giga would have finished Josh Emmett personally. I kind of agree that Bryce is coming back too soon as well, but not as much as Josh. Like Josh, now damage he took. And yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about Bryce, the last fight with Ige, but I mean, he won that. He did take a bit of damage in that fight. His eye was a little messed up, right? I agree with that, but again, I think he's the better fighter, man. I have to pick him. How much younger is he? Oh my God, I think it's 9 years.
A lot.
Yeah, it's yeah. He's 94. Josh is 85. God damn. Anytime anyone's older than me and you, Marcel, that means they're getting old. So yeah, we're going to go with the younger guy.
I agree with Beatrice, by the way.
The press conference, yeah, it's going to be fun, eh? Emmett Britu. They just chose a different fight, I guess. Main card's great. Let's get into it, guys. All right, we'll start with the first fight in the main card. We've got Mr. Machado himself taking on Vicente Luque. Also, this one, Ian Garry, minus 360. Huge favorite here. Vicente Luque plus 285, the quiet assassin. Silent assassin, I should say. Odds are high, man. I mean, they're higher than I thought. I think they've been going up. Yeah, it opened at like minus 140 for Garry. Now it's minus 360. It's a little high. I mean, this is a big step up, I think. And Neil Magny's a pretty good fighter, and Daniel Rodriguez is decent. By the way, Daniel Rodriguez got his suspension overturned, so that's good. He'll be back soon, hopefully. Vicente Luque, though, the last fight was very, very impressive, man, against RDA. Taking him down 8 times, controlling him, outstriking him, it was really impressive to me. The guy with tons of experience. He's fought the best of the best. Great record in the UFC. Again, a guy that's taking a lot of damage, though, and that's what worries me, right? Like, that Jeff Neal fight was really concerning, man, the amount of damage. He had a brain bleed in that fight. That's why I faded him against RDA, and he comes out and looks amazing. So it's like, I don't really know what to expect with him here. I think I want to say he's a live dog, though, with all the experience, with the well-rounded game, the submissions, the knockout power. It's just the damage, and then Garry obviously so technical with the striking, right? Last fight, Neil Magny. I know he didn't finish Neil, but as Marcel said, he kind of wanted to punish Neil for what he thought was some comments made about his kid. And anyways, one thing I will say though is, like, again, our friend James Lynch, we've been talking about it, like the distractions, right, for Ian with the whole thing with his wife and with the other Machado guy, or whatever the guy's name is that lives with them, the husband. All that distraction, like, I mean, it's got to be like weighing on his mind. It could play a role in this fight. Who knows? I really don't know. It's hard to cap that kind of stuff outside the cage. It really is. But as far as like inside the cage goes, for me, Luque's just taking too much damage. That's why I'm leaning Garry. I think Ian's going to be technical, outpoint him to win the decision. But, you know, man, I think Luque got a chance. I'll just say that. What do you think?
I feel the same way pretty much. And I also think Luque has a chance. The thing is, like, if you asked me this fight 5 years ago, I'd definitely go Luque. You know, I don't know now. You know, that's the thing. Too much of question marks in this fight to me, to be really honest, to be convinced. I'll go for Garry in this one, but man, I wouldn't be surprised if Luque wins, you know. And I have the feeling like 95% of the MMA community hope Luque wins. Yeah, you can pretty much come into that 95%, to be really honest. But I think I got to be, how do you say that? I got to be honest. I think Garry wins here. I think he wins likely a decision. But man, we'll see. I'm not convinced. It's a difficult one. Definitely also because they're former teammates, so they know what they can expect from each other.
I think that's interesting too. That is an interesting thing to kind of think about in this fight as well. There's a lot of like factors in this fight that make it like a little tricky, I think, you know, personally. So we'll get some comments here. Have you guys heard Gamma RDA? I don't know. Have you heard that rumor?
The thing is, like, a Polish website was going through the top 15 in the lightweight division, and they were looking at who Garbrandt could fight next, and they came on RDA, and they were like, RDA is possible, but RDA is not fighting at 155 anymore. At least that's what he said. So they did that article, and people took it as like Garbrandt for the first RDAs in the works. I don't know if that's true, but that's probably, I think it's pretty much what the website was like. This is the most possible fight for Garbrandt next. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
Yeah, a couple other comments here. Luque's live. JP thinks so. Yeah, Diego Lopez would have been good for that last fight too, by the way. But he'll get a fight soon. He'll probably fight the Mexico card in, was it February? Mexico? Yeah, you're
Diego Lopez. He doesn't have a fight yet.
He'll fight in that card. See, hey, Glenn's here. Holy crap, Glenn, what's up, brother? I know it's hard for you to get here on Sundays. Thanks, man. CC0 licensing, wow, NFT creators. That's probably what it is. It has something to do with that because I think it showed up during the whole NFT craze too. So I don't hear about those things. That was like a huge word a few years ago. I don't hear about that anymore at all. West Coast going to the card. It's going to be awesome, man. Say Luque's defense isn't great. I agree. Yeah, Garry probably wins. That's probably what happens here too. Got to assume Garry would take this fight. I didn't think he would confidently win. Yeah, absolutely. Garry is better at this point. I agree. He should win. I mean, he should. I'm just saying, like, the odds are getting a little bit high. That's what I think. JDM Burns. Yeah, I think it's happening.
I got told not in the works. Not
really.
Not at this moment. There's nothing there at this moment. So it still can change, but at this moment, there's nothing there.
All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Tony Ferguson taking on Paddy Pimblett in the UFC lightweight division. Paddy Pimblett is minus 360 favorite, so the odds are getting up on him because I looked at this last week. He was minus 250, so the odds are climbing. Tony Ferguson plus 285. Like, I feel way more confident in Paddy than I do with Ian, just because like you have to fade Tony Ferguson. You can't pick him. Like, I understand, guys. He has all that experience. You know, it's El Kukui. I love the guy. 6 straight losses. He's been finished in 3 straight losses. I understand he's fighting good competition, great competition in some cases, but I don't know, man. I just think he's not the same guy anymore. He's taking way too much damage in his career. This is a clear setup fight by the UFC, and I'm not even that high in Paddy. Like, I think he's just an okay fighter, but I think this is like one of the easiest fights that he could have right now. I think Paddy finishes Tony Ferguson. I think he ends his UFC career with a submission loss. So Paddy Pimblett by submission. I absolutely think he wins this fight. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man, I was kind of annoyed last time with the press conference where Dana was like saying, like, yeah, don't you guys think that's a great fight? And those and the journalists over there didn't say anything. Probably Amy was too busy in her head thinking about a power slap question. But I mean, I don't want to see that fight, man, because there's a big possibility that Paddy wins that fight, you know, and they're trying to build him up. Because I don't know who said that in the Discord chat, but they said, like, if Paddy wins, they're going to say, like, next time Joe Rogan is going to say, like, yeah, Paddy beat the former interim champion Tony Ferguson. You know what I mean? After on a fucking 6-fight losing streak or whatever. I don't like it. I think Paddy wins. I hope we can see old Tony coming back, but there is too less of a trust thing that I can rely on that. You know what I mean? We saw him against Bobby Green, wasn't bad, but it faded away at a certain moment. Listen, we cannot keep holding on that Michael Chandler first round. You know what I mean? And that's something I tried, but we can't. Yeah, I think Paddy wins. I don't know how. I don't care how. He will probably win. Fuck that,
I think he was. And there's no way in heck I could take Tony Ferguson. I mean, I think everyone wants Tony to win, right? Because people don't like Paddy and they all love Tony, but I just can't pick him. All right, we'll go to the next fight here.
The thing is, always when the UFC sets up a certain fight, which I have the feeling that the UFC wants one guy to win and one guy to lose, I want that guy who wants they have to win, I want them to lose. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is about as clear of a setup fight as the UFC is going to make, right? Like, it's obvious they want Paddy to win the fight. And I think he does, though, man. Because, again, Tony just... Dude, this is like a legendary losing streak. And again, you get a chance to fade him like you did with BJ Penn, Sam Alvin, these guys that have all these losses. You have to do it. So, glad to take a shot on it. All right, next fight here. Shavkat Rakhmonov taking on Stephen Thompson. Odds on Shavkat minus 520, Stephen Thompson plus 390. So, I'm obviously picking Shavkat. I think we're all going to pick him here. But, like, these odds are really high, man. Like, Stephen Thompson's still, like, a really good striker. And I don't think he's ever been submitted, right? So that's kind of how Shavkat wins his fights, and that's what I'm going to pick here because, excuse me, like Shavkat, he's a well-rounded guy, but his submission game is ridiculous. Even though Steven's never been submitted, I think this is a guy that will submit him if he gets him to the ground. But again, if the fight stays standing, Stephen Thompson can win this fight. That's why the odds are, to me, a little bit too high. Like, I don't love Shavkat at these odds. He should win, right? He's the more well-rounded guy. He's the younger guy by quite a few years, 11 years. All that stuff points towards him. Taller guy, longer guy, younger guy, longer winning streak. He's been nothing but impressive. We're all high on Shavkat here. He finishes everyone. He's a fucking monster. But again, it's just an interesting matchup, right? I think Shavkat will fight smart, take him to the ground, finish him there. But again, on the feet, Marcel, it's going to be interesting because Jeff Neal actually did really well on the feet against Shavkat, and then before he got him to the ground and submitted him, right? If Stephen Thompson can stand his bike, keep that karate style going, land kicks from the outside, stay at range, who knows? Because, I mean, he surprised me before, man. I didn't think he'd beat, a guy like Jeff Neal either, and he went and destroyed him, even Kevin Holland. Like, so Stephen Thompson has still got it, man. He's still got it at age, was he 40? He still got it. Still, you got to pick Shavkat. The win streak, all the finishes. What is he? 17-0, all finishes. You can't not pick him. It's just minus 520. I'll pass. I'm passing. There's other fights in this card that look better. So, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, you said Shavkat monster. I mean, come on, Hans. Hey, we're still hoping. Just give us something. You know what I mean? We gave you a shout out without even thinking about giving you a shout out. There you go, Adam, for the shout outs.
No more free shout outs. We gotta get a sponsorship.
Yeah, what's up? I feel the same way, man. I think Thompson can make it very competitive on the feet, and he can win on the feet, But I think at a certain moment, Shavkat takes it to the ground, and I think he submits Thompson, man. That's how I think about a fight. Shavkat is the actual talent. You know what I mean? Not Paddy, not Ian Garry, if you compare those three on this card. I think Ian Garry is the second best of the three, but Shavkat is the best of the three. Shavkat wins. Submission, I'm going first round, man. I think he takes him down in a certain moment and grapples him. Listen, man, Thompson is good, but he's mostly good on the feet. And I always felt like a lot of people always tried to stand and bang with him, man, for some reason. While they're not good, but they could take him to the ground, they didn't. Remember when Bilal fought him and Burns fought him? They didn't finish him, but they took him to the ground. And the thing is, like, with Bilal and with Burns, they were really like hesitant with what they're doing on the ground because they didn't want him to stand up. I don't think Shavkat minds to stand up with Thompson. You know what I mean? So I don't think he is too hesitant on the ground. I think he finishes him with submission.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's the same pick I have. But again, it is interesting because Steven's never been submitted. But again, this would be the guy that would do it, right? Like a guy like Shavkat. So we have the same pick here. Let me see if there's any comments about it. Yeah, people. Shavkat eats patties for breakfast. That's funny. Tony and Wonder Boy were supposed to share 290 and 209, 291 to be even perimeters, but now they probably share 296. And they'll probably be, well, it's going to be probably Tony's last fight. I think, did Thompson get a new contract or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He did, right? Yeah, because there was that whole mess with the last fight. And
I always feel like when they give these older guys a new contract, it's like you get a contract and we probably know you won't outdo your contract, but you cannot sign anywhere else,
Yeah, that's kind of what it is too. I mean, maybe they thought he was going to go to PFL or to fight like Duambe or something. Maybe they're like, no, let's not let him go. Because I think Steven, still a pretty good fighter, man, even at age 40. I mean, he did beat Kevin Holland last year. It was last December, I want to say.
Yeah.
But again, when you are 40 years old, you're getting up there in age, and I don't know, man. It's hard to say now. All right, are we good? We're good with that one? Okay. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got the co-main event here, Marcel. We've reached it. So right now we got Alexandra Pantoja taking on Brandon Royval, the rematch. And the odds for this one, guys, have Pantoja minus 175, Royval plus 145. Give me your thoughts on the rematch.
Yeah, man, this is an interesting fight, I think. You got Alexandra Pantoja, comes off that split decision title fight win against Brandon Moreno. Had a good streak before that, right? Win against Manel Kape. Also, Brandon Royval finish, and the Alex Perez finish was really quick. I think he's a very good fighter. I always thought he was a very good fighter. He came in the Ultimate Fighter. Remember, he was, I think, the number 1 ranked guy in that season. He lost against Hiromasa Ogikubo for some reason, never got a chance in the UFC. If you look at Brandon Royval, 3-fight win streak. But man, I mean, a very close fight against Bontorin. I remember that was early last year, Then the Matt Schnell one where he got tagged early, almost got finished, but he turned it around and finished Matt Schnell in the first round still. And a very impressive win against Matheus Nicolau in the most recent fight in Kansas City. Like I said, rematch. I mean, Royval is great. He's a fun fighter, but I don't know how he will be better this time against Pantoja, I think Pantoja has also been, has improved. Just like Royval, I'm still taking Pantoja, man. And I think Pantoja finishes him again, to be really honest, I think Pantoja finishes him this time in the second round via submission. So I'm here on Alexandra Pantoja getting his first title defense.
I have the same pick as you, man. Same method, everything. Like I do feel like it's going to go like the first fight again. I like Brandon Royval a lot. He's a good fighter. He's fun to watch, but I feel like he leaves himself defensively open. The one bet I like even more than anything probably in this fight is the fight doesn't go the 5 rounds. Like I don't think the odds are out yet, but I don't think this is not a flyweight fight that goes the full 5. This will be inside the distance. I'm confident of it. But again, I'd like Royval, but 39% takedown defense is fucking terrible, dude. I mean, that Bontorin guy took him down 8 times. There's no doubt in my mind Pantoja can take him down, grind him out. He took down Moreno 6 times in the last fight. When they first fought Royval and Pantoja 2 years ago, he took him down 3 times, then finished him, second round submission, won 2 straight fights since then. I think he's been like the most underrated guy in this weight class, like since he started in the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
He's very good. Yeah. He's 10-3. I mean, it's a great record. And the losses are to Askar Askarov, who would have fought for the belt had he stayed in the UFC. Davison Figueiredo, who was a champ, and then Dustin Ortiz, which I guess looking back, that's his worst loss. But Dustin Ortiz actually he wasn't a bad fighter either.
Not at all.
He shouldn't have been cut either. I guess that's when they got rid of all the flyweights.
Yeah, he did. After what they were like, if you lose this fight, you're done, and then
But he's decent though. Anyways, Royval. I mean, I think if Royval wins, Marcel, I think he'd have to knock out Pantoja in like the first round. That's what I'm thinking, which is possible. I mean, he's got power, right? But,
for sure.
Or submit him, but I don't see him submitting Pantoja. I really don't see it happening, right?
I think if he has to win, it's probably with knockout, by flash knockout or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Attack him.
Like the Matheus Nicolau fight, right? Like kind of like that. Give me the cannibal submission. There we go. Same pick.
What do you think about that?
That was his last fight, by the way. You're a grateful dude. I was at the last fight with 290. What are you gonna say? Go ahead.
What do you think about Moreno being the backup fighter?
They need a backup for like every title fight, right? Do you know who's backup for the main event, or is it just like one of Garry or Luque? Maybe
I have no idea, to be really honest. I have no idea.
I wonder if someone's going to show up on Friday that we didn't think was the backup. Who knows, right? Maybe Shavkat is. Maybe it could be Shavkat. I don't know.
Awesome.
There's actually a couple. Yeah, I don't know why I said Luque and Garry. It would be Shavkat or Wonder Boy, I think, instead, right? Maybe Bilal's going to show up.
Should be Bilal, actually.
Maybe he is the backup, but he's not telling anyone. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, right?
The thing is,
there would be a backup though.
Yeah, the thing with Bilal, I know he's talking a lot on social media, but I understand his annoyingness by not getting the fight. I think, listen, a lot of people don't like Bilal because they think he's boring. I also don't think he's really like entertaining to watch, but to be really honest, he
Yeah.
deserves it, man.
Oh, I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Beat Burns, he beat Sean Brady. That Sean Brady win's aging really well, which we thought we would. I agree with Glenn too. Great comment. I look back, it's like Figueiredo had fought Moreno like 4 times right in a row. It's wild. And then Moreno had fought basically every title fight. Garbrandt, Pavlich back up UFC did use them. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what's going to happen here. All right, we'll go to the main event, guys. We have Colby Covington taking on Leon Edwards, the champion here at UFC welterweight title on the line. Minus 148 for the champ, plus 124 Colby. I'll start on this one, Marcel. I like Leon Edwards in this fight. I think he gets the job done. Colby's definitely a great wrestler. Leon does not have the best takedown defense, 69%. Not the best, but at the same time, I feel like MMA is really a sport of momentum. And Leon is it like 11, 12 wins, winless streak or unbeaten streak, I should say. Only the no contest with Bilal in there. Otherwise, he's beaten everyone. I understand the Usman fight was not going his way until that head kick, but my God, I mean, then the rematch obviously gets the job done. Colby's obviously a great wrestler. Leon has been taken on 9 times in his last 2 fights, and if Colby wins, he's going to have to grind him out for the full 25. I think Colby will probably win a round or 2. I mean, I think it'll be a competitive fight, but I just see Edwards being the more effective striker by far. And I think that he'll also be able to stuff a lot of the takedowns or at least get back up and win the decision. I think it goes to 5 rounds. I think so. I think it's going to be a competitive fight that goes 5, but I think the champ retains here, Marshall, or defends, I should say, by decision. So that's my pick, guys. Leon Edwards by decision. The line's going up a bit. It was minus 130 last time I looked. Now it's minus 148. So I guess a little bit of money's coming on Leon. I expect the line to stay around this area. I don't think it'd be going up too much higher because Colby does have the wrestling and people will bet on him. But yeah, my pick is Leon by decision. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think this goes to full 5 rounds. I'm picking Colby, man.
There you go. So we have a dog there by Marcel. There you go.
Yeah, I'm picking Colby for the simple reason that I think Colby will be able to hold Leon down, man. I think he can do
possible.
that.
Very possible.
Listen, Leon is a good fighter. I think stand-up is better than Colby's, but I don't know, man. I mean, you saw Edwards against Usman, and people will say, yeah, but Usman won twice against Colby. Well, it's still competitive fights, And that first fight with Edwards, or the second fight, I should say, they fought 3 times, Usman and Edwards. The second fight, like the first title fight between them, I think Usman was clearly winning that fight 4-1. It wouldn't be 4-1 if it went to the scorecards, but then Edwards had that head kick. And the last fight, it was super close as well, People were like, it was a really clear win for Edwards. I didn't think it was a clear win for Edwards. I think he won, definitely, but it wasn't as clear as people made it out, So I think Covington, the only thing with Covington is like he hasn't fought for a long time, Last time was against Masvidal in March of 2022, I should say. Yeah, I'm picking Colby by decision here.
There you go. So we have a different pick in the main event. Should be interesting. Kind of looking at the...
At least one of us has it right?
Marcus likes the underdog value. Colby Carter in wrestling. It very well could be. Leon's been talking about Garry, Strickland, Duplessis, everyone except for Colby. Yeah, maybe he thinks it's going to be a tougher fight, but because again, he's a guy that can be taken down, right? I just think he's made the improvements that he'll be able to, at least get back up, or at least not every round get taken down. I think Colby, if Islam's next, if Colby gets the belt, possibly. I mean, Islam's going to fight at 170 in the future, but maybe not next. He'll probably he still has to be Gaethje and Oliveira, So
also the talk with Edwards, like if he wins, that he wants to fight next for against Duplessis. Stop that shit, Really stop that shit. The whole champ thing is getting out of hand, and it's not as impressive anymore. I'm much more impressed by guys like defending the belt 5 or 6 times than going after one title defense to another division and trying to get champ over there. At least maybe I'm more old-fashioned if it comes to this kind of shit, But for me, for example, the Anderson Silva run or the Mighty Mouse Johnson run or the GSP run is much more impressive to me than a lot of those double champion achievements in the UFC,
For sure. I agree with Marcus. He's saying 4 underdogs will win. I think I picked 4. I think you did too. Let me count. So for my dog picks, I took just running through the card again. For dogs, I took Almeida, Durden, Menifield, and Lipski. So I took 4, and you
I
took
took 3.
You took Colby, Lipski, and Durden.
Yeah.
So you took 3. So I have 4. He has 3. 2 consensus dogs, guys, this week: Durden and Lipski. That's interesting. It's funny though. I took all these dogs in a bunch, in a row, and then I didn't take any of the other ones. So it's interesting. Probably wouldn't end up that way, but that's what I think. It's been a decent year for picks. I think I bounced back. I think I had a tough start to the year, really tough. Really bounced back well. Last couple of cards, there's that one guy on I think his name's Brian, right? Brian on Twitch or something on Twitter. He does this is all the shows and he recaps everyone's picks. I've been at the top of the list for the last couple of the events. So yeah, hopefully this is it'd be nice to end the year with a 14-0 pick, but likely not. All right, a couple comments here. A chance of Colby's head. Leon's Colby's head. Possibly. Because he did beat, like you said, Usman 2 times, and Colby wasn't able to. What was your favorite underdog pick for a fight in UFC in 2023? Oh, I can't even think right now. That's a tough question mark because I'd have to go back and,
I can't even remember which fucking fights were all there in 2000.
Well, I can't remember when I ate for breakfast this morning. I didn't eat anything, but no, I'm kidding. I have to look at it. I'm just looking at the biggest upsets. The ones that I picked.
Stoliarenko against McMahon was one of my better picks.
Stoliarenko against McMahon. That was a good pick. I'm just trying to see.
I should say.
McMahon. Yeah. I don't know how many I picked. I think I definitely picked a couple, but
of course we both did.
I definitely picked some dogs. I'm just trying to think of what was I don't know. I wish I picked my guy Strickland though. That would have been awesome. That one because he was plus 500. Well, I can't even remember now, Marcus. I'm sorry, man. My brain's not thinking that clearly now. I'd have to think back. It's just Marcel, back in the day, I used to know, I could think about every fight and every card. Now it's as time goes on, it's it all kind of scrambles together, unfortunately. You get old, right? Well, yeah. Anyways, great comment, though. That was one of the best knockouts, man, of the year. I was there for that one. Last podcast, yes, the last one. Looks like there'll be no London event. Heard new Euro event. I thought they were doing Manchester. Were they not doing that?
So let's see. March 2nd is Saudi Arabia. March 9th is going to be Miami. March 16th, unknown. March 23rd, unknown. And March 30th is likely Atlantic City, New Jersey. So there are 2 chances. But the thing is, they have booked, for example, Lerone Murphy and Molly McCann for February events, And I would think if they go to England, they definitely have Molly McCann on the card again. So I don't know.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to look at some of the fights of this year, where there were. I guess I did take Pereira against Jan, and that was an upset, I guess technically, and against was it Yuri, right? Not a big upset, but that was one. I'm just looking at some main events where I maybe take a dog. I took Albazi to beat Karol Franz. I think he was a dog. I want to say he was a dog. Maybe it might have been close. Let's see. Was Strickland a dog against Magomedov?
I don't know, but we both picked him. I know that.
We did. I don't know. I guess it's There's been quite a few upsets. I don't know how many I picked though. Sorry, Marcus. I wish I could answer your question, but I'm still thinking, but it's just difficult.
Too many fights going on, dude. To remember, to be really honest.
We'll do a year and wrap up show. We will. We're gonna think about what to do. Jason Jackson, that was a good upset pick. We don't pick the Bellator fights here. We do talk about them. Drew, you're what, 60 or something like that? 75. I'm just joking. He's 50. George, Veronica Hardy, that was a great pick. Breno Silva was a really good pick by you too. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, here's another question. Sorry, I didn't see these spot though. Ziem, I have no clue. I'd imagine he'll be on one of those European cards. Dober Macondo I think it's a good fight. Makes sense. They're both kind of actually.
Somebody replied to my Instagram on it this fight should never be in the UFC Apex, and I made that a top comment. And I think Max Griffin these guys don't deserve to fight without a crowd. And Max Griffin replied under it, it's nobody of us deserves to fight without a crowd.
Mm-hmm. We'll take a couple more comments here. Best guess, the headline is Chandler Connor. I would imagine you're the same.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What does he think will headline 300?
Not Connor.
Why?
His coach said that he wouldn't be ready, so
they might be lying, keeping their cards.
Yeah, true.
And on air, it should be for an interim belt. Go ahead.
they should put Manon against Blanchfield on the Atlantic City main event, I think, on March 30.
I completely agree. We both picked Durden. Yeah, I think he out-wrestled him. I think Durden's a really good pick for an underdog. Muraba's best underdog pick. Great pick, Mark. I mean, he made it look easy. Biggie Boy, no idea. New Cuban heavyweight guy looks good. 87-inch reach is fucking insane. I don't know how you have arms that long. The Derek Lewis fight, he was one of the best knockouts of the year, I think. The card in Utah was fucking amazing. The Poirier or the Gaethje head kick on Poirier, and then Roman Kopylov had a crazy knockout on Claudio Ribeiro.
What's the Bonfim underdog against McKinney earlier this year? Because then we picked Bonfim in that fight.
He was. I don't remember if he was a dog or not, but we both picked him. Why is Gaethje avoiding grapplers on Arman and Garbrandt? I guess listen, this is his last chance to win the belt, right? So he's just got to take whoever the easiest fight is to get there. But I mean, it's not like Poirier's an easy fight. It's just he's not a grappler, right? He's a striker. Zach, what's up? He said he was told it wouldn't headline. Okay. Well, maybe they'll put Sean Brady in the headline. I don't know. It'll be one of those two fighters.
Yeah.
I think we should just end it, Marcel. I think we're good here. I'm a little talked out now. I got to give credit to these guys like James and Guru, all these guys. Joey, like talk for hours and hours on the podcast. Like I respect it because, man, after the 2 shows, I'm done. Like my voice is completely shot now, so I'm good to go, bro. I'm gonna tweet out the podcast now, guys. We'll tweet out the recap if you missed it. But we had a lot of people in the chat today, which is awesome. Thanks again, Marcus. Appreciate that. Adam, I'm going to Cuba. Anna de Armas, is she still with Ben Affleck, or is she single now? Yeah, check that. Because if she's single, maybe I'll shoot my shot, right? Like what's his name? What's the guy that shot? Oh, Travis Kelce. He went after Taylor Swift. Let's see. Is she still with? No, she's with some other dude. Oh, she hasn't been with Ben Affleck in like 2-3 years. That's how far removed I am.
Wasn't Ben Affleck back to Jennifer Lopez? I think.
Oh, he is with Jennifer. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to be honest. I thought Jennifer Garner, the other one he was married to, was the hottest one, personally. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't agree, but I always thought she was fucking smoke show. I don't know if you ever know her.
Let me look her up for a second. I know the name, but I cannot get the face.
That was his ex-wife. They had kids together. She was on a show called Alias years ago, and man, she was one of my favorites personally. So
she's nice, but I think Jennifer Lopez.
Well, yeah, J-Lo is one of the best of all time, right? I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, this is like, I was gonna say it's like Burger King, McDonald's, but no, it's a lot more than that. This is like, I don't know, Marcel. This is taking like your beef Wellington or like a nice, filet mignon or something. I don't know. You can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong. Marcel's doing his tape study right now. That's what he's doing. By the way, speaking of tape study, as a joke, when my best friend, we were talking about the Oscars, and I haven't really watched a lot of movies this year, right? But we were talking about some Oscars, and he likes Robert Downey Jr. to win an Oscar and stuff, and we're joking around because on DraftKings, like they have the odds, right, for the movies, like to win Best Picture and stuff. So I'm like, are you going to do your tape study on the movies? He said, yeah, we're going to watch the movie and do the tape study. That's how you do your tape study for those sports. So anyways, I appreciate all the comments, guys. There's a lot of good comments here, a lot of positive comments. We appreciate it. Just a couple more comments because, like I said, I want to get out of here. BSD and Benny, I don't know. I mean, that fight makes sense too. That would be a good fight. I still think BSD and Poirier is the fight that I want to see. I just don't think Dustin would take the fight. And I kind of think you'd agree, right?
Yeah, I think Dustin should fight Arman Tsarukyan. That's what I think. But if he doesn't take Arman, he definitely doesn't take Benoit. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We'll take a couple more questions, guys, just because we're in the holiday spirit right now.
The weather.
Thoughts on Arman? Is that being scared of fighting a prime full camp Arman? I don't know. I calling Islam scared is kind of wild to me, man. I don't agree with that at all.
No, me neither.
I don't think Islam has a problem fighting him at all. I mean, I could be wrong, but what do you think?
Nah, man. Definitely not. I think the rematch will be there somehow.
It is kind of crazy though that Arman, fought him in his debut, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy. And then since then he lost to Garbrandt, but that's why he could have easily won that fight, and he's just an absolute beast. So yeah, no, I don't know about that. Let's see here. Done. Okay, so I just tweeted it out, guys. If you want to, retweet the old podcast there, we'd appreciate it. Get some more listeners here, but we appreciate all the likes, share, subscribes, all that stuff. We really appreciate it. Yeah, good show today, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Like I said, I'm going to be on vacation, but I'll have some internet, I imagine. We'll be able to do a show.
We'll figure it out.
Well, have a great day, everyone. Have a great week. Good luck with your bets. UFC 296. Hopefully, you're going to get a great card. Take